You ever wonder which trimmer head to use, or why to use one over the other, or even how they work? Well, in this next video, we're going to talk about that. We have 5 different trimmer heads that we have personally used and experienced and put them through pretty rough conditions. So stay tuned, just might learn something. Okay, so the different brands that we have here is the Husqvarna T35. We have 2 steel trimmer heads, and we have 2 echo trimmer heads. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Husqvarna. Now on this guy here, there is a couple different feed heads that I'm aware of, at least that you can buy at Lowe's anyways, that are Husqvarna. Now, I've been using Husqvarna trimmers and their feed heads for over 2 years. And this is the T35 trimmer head. And they have another one called the T25. This is the T35, sorry. And, you know, it's been pretty good. I've had to replace several of these. And we're going to talk about, you know, the pros and cons about this guy. So, it's fairly light, okay, and the plastic that encompasses this whole get up here is relatively a soft plastic and not a very tough or rigorous type of plastic. As you can see here, there's a lot of wear already going on, and where I remember one time, you know, I've had one of these maybe not even a quarter of a year, and from bumping, you know, as you want it to feed out, it has worn all the way around a ring, and I should have kept it, but this whole thing will come right out. And you can see here on the blue part, it's already starting to wear pretty good on the 4 corners. And I haven't had this that long. I've probably had this 30 days to be exact. So now, a lot of that can be avoided when you're out trimming and edging. If you're around grass, you know, which most of the time that's when you're edging and trimming, if you would end up bumping it on the grass instead of on a hard, rough surface. That will definitely help to prevent any type of damage like that. But I think if they used a different chemical structure of some kind, to make sure this is tougher, I think that would be a big plus. Alright, so in ordering to feed this guy, the trimmer line, you do have to open it up. So to load it, you have to open up. You have these little push tabs here. You got one there and one on the other side. And it's pretty easy. Now you know this is going to be on the trimmer, so keep that in mind. Okay, this is probably one of the easier ones to open. Okay, so now on this guy here, some trimmer heads you can flip this part around and spin left-handed, and some of the other ones you can spin around and it would spin right-handed. This is only one way, okay, it only spins one direction. Now when you want to load the trimmer line in here, there's a little arrow, a couple of arrows right there. It's probably kind of hard to tell, and it has where you hook your line in here, okay, and then you go down. So in other words, it's actually be facing like this. This comes out here. You take your line. We're going to go ahead and take some trimmer line. Let's see if we can find some real quick. Okay, so the way you load the trimmer line up, you take your trimmer line. Now this spool can hold around 3 arm lengths long. So from fingertip to fingertip, you could probably push close to 4. Don't really know what that is in feet, but it's quite a bit. Alright, so you're going to take your trimmer line, you're going to get the end to end here, and we just use a short piece here, and you come all the way to the end where it loops. So once you have that, alright, then you're going to come up to your piece here. Now there's a little groove right in there, so you're just going to hook that just like that, okay? And then you wind it up just like this, and then they fit in that little hole right there. Back it up. There you go. Now we know one piece is a little longer than the other. You know, this is just to show you how to load it up. Okay, so once you have that set up, then you're going to go ahead and drop it inside here. Now you're going to drop it into where the trimmer line is lined up with these metal eyelets. There you go. And it just holds it right in place. Now this of course is on your trimmer, and then you put that in right there and you're ready to go. It's a pretty easy system. That's probably the best thing I like about it. About this one, it's real easy to load up. You're in and out. You only need one piece of line, where there are some trimmer heads you need two pieces of line. So alright, so some of the pros about this guy is you know, it's lightweight. It holds, you know, quite a bit of line, and it's easy to feed, so it doesn't take much effort to bump, and that the feed comes out, and I really like that about this. It's easy to open. That's another big plus. Now, probably the only complaint I have about it is it just wears out really fast around this edge. I mean, this probably a few more weeks, maybe a month or so if I'm careful. It can last a little longer, but for something that's 25 bucks and already wearing out like that, I haven't even had it 2 months yet, it's not very good. So on a 5-star rating, I rate this guy at probably a 3, right in the middle. You know, this package does come with different adapter components to put it on various types of trimmers. On the box it tells you the different kind of brands you can put on there, so it's not too bad. You know, it's a pretty good one. The T25, like I said, is a little smaller. In fact, my Husqvarna 322L trimmer came with the T25. I took it off and put this one on. Really the only difference on the T25, you're going to wind up the string in the opposite direction on that spool. So anyways, that's about it on this guy right here. Okay, so the next two we're going to talk about are the STIHL, or one of these anyways. Now, the STIHL trimmer we have is the FS94R, and this is the bump head that came on it. Now, I don't know the model number of this bump head, but it's been around quite a while. Oh, here we go. It's the AutoCut, hold on, AutoCut 25-2. Okay, so we're going to talk about some pros and cons about this guy. This is the one that came on the trimmer, the FS94R string trimmer that we bought just not even a month ago, just a few weeks ago. I've been pretty happy with the trimmer. We'll cover trimmers another day, and we'll cover trimmer lines another day too. Right now we're just covering these trimmer heads. Okay, so one of the first things I notice about this guy is it's very rigorous. It's very tough. It's some thick plastic. You know this is going to last a long time. So that's one of the pluses about this guy. One of the things that makes this kind of non-favorable is to get trimmer line in here. Now, you do have to take this part off in order to do that, but you almost need a tool because the piece to push is recessed in there pretty good, you know. And I can't do it by hand. It kills my thumb. So you have to, use something to push it down. All right, and then it just opens up. Okay, and pretty much it's the same setup as that Husqvarna. So let's see here. Let's get this out here. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and unwind this and show you how to load it up. Now on this one, it does require 2 separate lines. So that's the other thing that's kind of a bummer about this guy. You have to have two separate lines in order to fill this guy up. So you cut your line, and again, it can hold about 3 arm lengths, fingertip to fingertip, and you can push somewhere close to 4. So once you take your line, you have 2 holes in there. Okay, one on each side of this guy, one here and one there. Okay, and you got to take your trimmer line. Let's just cut that little piece off right there. Okay, and then you're going to feed it in there. All right, let's see if we can find it here. Here we are. All right. Okay. Oh, when you add line in here, you want to add the row here closest to the bump. Okay, so you want to add this row in first, then add that row in second. If you add this row in first, when you go to pull your wire up to put it up inside this little hole here, yeah, what's going to happen is then you're going to have to use this line, and it's going to keep rolling over that. It's not going to be good. So you do the outer one first. Okay. Once you put your line in there, you're going to go the opposite direction. Just like that. There you go. Okay, once you get that in there, then you do that right there. We're going to take our other line, and we're going to do the same thing. Get it in there. Line that up. You're going to feel that line twist in your hand. Now the line we are using is the Echo Black Diamond, and that's probably my favorite line. Alright, so once that's in there like that, now remember, this is going to be on the trimmer. Okay, inside you have these little notches. Okay, you have a top layer and a bottom layer, and they're kind of staggered. So when you put this guy in there, these little notches here, okay, have to go in there, and once you push them in, then you turn them, and then they can rotate inside. Okay, and you want to line up your line to these outlets right here, eyelets right there. Okay, there you go. Once you do that, it will stay in place. Okay, take your line, pull it through like this. Okay, so now that's in place there. You can put your trimmer head cover back on. Okay, and you're ready to go. So it's okay on the adding the line process in here. It's not too bad. I mean, I've had probably worse. You can use variable size line in all of these trimmer heads. Most of the line really I'm using is .095, the Black Diamond by Echo. And I had a steel line in here when I bought it. I didn't care for it, so I took it out. So anyways, so this does pretty good. You know, some of the pros about it is it feeds pretty well when you're sitting there and you're bumping it and it's spinning. Okay, you bump it and you spin it, and you know you got to get your line out. It doesn't do too bad. So one of the cons that I don't care for, and probably the only one I don't care for, is the fact that this is so hard to get off. It's, you know, pretty tough. So on this guy, I'm rating this guy probably a 2 because of that. It's such a pain. You know, when I need to go and put more line in my trimmer head, I don't want to be fighting it. I want to be in and out. You definitely can't wear gloves and get this off. There's no doubt about that. You cannot do that. So you know, I don't. Other than that, it's just a regular trimmer head. You know, these heads really only fit the steel heads. This one, since it came on the 94R, it didn't have any extra components in here, adapters. So good luck with it trying to fit on yours. The next trimmer head we're going to be talking about is the Stihl Auto Cut C26-2, which is a comparable speed feed to the Echo speed feed series. Now, we purchased this less than a month ago, and as you can tell, we're pretty rough on these guys. We go through all types of terrain, and so okay. One of the things I've noticed on this, it is a little bit wider head. I do like that about that, and what I've also noticed is heavier heads and a little bit wider heads help the line cut a little bit better, and it helps you kind of float on top of that surface when you're trying to cut. So I really like that. Okay, so that's a benefit of having a heavier head. It is a real tough, rigorous plastic formula, so it's definitely going to last a long time. I like that. And it has a wider surface on the bump part, which is pretty interesting. So, okay, so to feed your line in this guy, you only need one line, which is great. And you don't even need to take the cover off, which is another super bonus. And what you have to make sure you do once you're out of line, and we're going to show you how to feed that, is you're going to align this little arrow right here, okay, into that little line right there. And, you know, you just turn this or rotate it, you know, until it's in that spot. It'll kind of snap into place. And then you feed your line from one end all the way to the other. So we're going to go ahead and take this off, take the line out, and then load it back up and show you how that works. All right, so you got your little tabs here, one on that side, one on this side, which is, you know, pretty easy to take off. I really like that. All right, so we're just going to unravel this. Now, on this trimmer head, just like the other steel head, you cannot switch to where it can go left hand spin or right hand spin, unfortunately. These are just made only one way. So they might have some that that are different depending what part of the country they go in. I don't even know why there's a difference, but alright, so we're going to go ahead and put our cover back on here. There we go. Alright, so as you can see now, we got our arrow here and we got our line here, so we need to rotate till we get to that point. Okay, so now we're in that. It's locked. Well, it's not locked, but it's in place there. Now you're not going to be able to see daylight through that hole, you know, but you just feed it right through and it goes right in. What I have noticed about the steel that I really like, it has a little bit better way of guiding that line to the other side, opposed to the Echo. So I do like that about this one. Alright, so once you get your line in there, you're going to run your line out all the way until you get both ends. Okay, so we're going to do the best we can with just the short piece and here. Alright, so we got it here. Alright, so remember, this is going to be on your trimmer. Okay, now it has these little kind of cut grooves inside here. Alright, and then that way you can just spin it, and you're going to spin it clockwise. Now the thing that's kind of a pain about this is you have to push down in order to spin it. You can't spin it like this, it's locked. Okay, it's not very smooth mechanic wise on the inside, so it kind of hurts my fingers a little bit because it stops because you don't quite get it in there. It's kind of rough, you'll just have to listen. You know, so it's winding it up, but it's not a very smooth operation. And my fingers are starting to get, you know, a little sore. Okay. Alright. So, winding it up, it isn't very difficult, but it isn't very pleasant either. Could definitely wear your fingers out. I'm pretty sure you couldn't do that with gloves on, because you have to get your fingers in here to spin it. You might be able to palm it and, you know, turn it. I don't know how easy that would be, but you know, that is probably the only con about this system that I don't care too much about. The pros, you know, it's about the same as all the other ones. This one's tough, it'll last a long time, and you don't have to take this part off in order to put your trimmer line in there. So I really like that. So on a scale from, you know, 0 to a 5-star rating, probably give this guy probably a 4.5, somewhere right in there. Now that did cost me about $55 at the dealership to purchase, so not bad of an investment. I'm pretty sure it'll last a long time. Now most of these have a max RPM of 10,000. This one is 11,500 RPMs. You know, so you can put this on another trimmer head that spins a little quicker or so, or another trimmer that spins a little quicker. But anyway, so not too bad from Stihl. They've had this, you know, quite a while now. That's the AutoCut C26-2. Okay, so the next two trimmer heads we're going to be talking about is the Echoes. I have an Echo 400 speed feed and the speed feed 450. Now on the smaller guy, this one came, we went and purchased this one the other day at our local dealer, and I think it was around the same, about $24, something like that. The speed feed system is relatively new to Echo, so it's a very good concept. I really like it, and so we're going to go over this little guy. Alright, so we're going to take that off there. Now on this system here, you do not need to take this part off in order to feed line in here, and I really like that, and you only need one line. So, but we're going to go ahead and take the cover off, take the line out, that way we can show you how to feed it on here. Okay, so you're going to have your little push tabs here, one there, one there. It's not too bad to take off. It's easier on when you don't have it on the trimmer. It's a little trickier when it's on the trimmer, I'll tell you that. Okay, so one of the things that I like about this guy, it's relatively light. You know, so it doesn't have a lot of weight at the bottom of the trimmer, as some might have. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this line off. Now the other cool thing about this trimmer head is you can flip this little piece right here, okay, around, and it'll spin one. It's 4 devices when this spins left and another one spins right, which has to do with the trimmer. So this can go both directions. This right here has the letter L on it, and has a little arrow here. So, and then the other side has R. So it came on the left hand where it says spin left, facing outward. So that faces the sky. So that's how it's supposed to go on for here in the U.S. And I guess other places, you know, you just spin that around and it goes this way, which wouldn't be very beneficial because this is spinning the opposite way. Your line's really going to shoot out, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this guy in here, and we're going to put our cover back on. Okay, now you do have 2 arrows here, one on each side, and you do want to line those up with the eyelets right here, so that way you can load up your trimmer line. So now that we got our trimmer line, we're going to go ahead and feed it through. Let's get this lined up. Okay, we're lined up. Now this you will be able to see all the way through. You can't see it here on the camera, but you will be able to feed it all the way through. You know, the only downfall about there we go, that one's pretty easy. Sometimes it's a little challenging to get that guy through there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just line up our feed here. Alright, do the best we can. Again, you're going to line up. Okay, now that we have the trimmer line in here, we're going to go ahead and add this, wind it up. So again, this is going to be on your trimmer, and this part right here is where the trimmer gearbox is going to be on. So you're going to take your right hand or left hand, whichever you are, and then this left hand is going to be on top of here. And all you're going to do is just turn it, just like that. You can even put your palm on here. You don't even need to grip it, you know, anything like that. It's a smooth operation on the inside, as you can tell. I really like it. You know, it's so easy. My wife could do it and not hurt her hands. So okay, so we didn't make sure our lines were even. Okay, so that's wound up pretty quick. Now this will take 3 arm lengths from fingertip to fingertip. You could probably push 4. That also depends on the diameter of line you are using. Okay, so some of the pros I like about this, the fact you don't have to take this part off to feed it in there, I think is fantastic. Just line up these little arrows to the eye and then feed your line in and wind it up. Super easy. It's definitely super tough and rigorous. It could take a lot of abuse. Now we did purchase this like last week, but it'll last a long time, and so we're excited about that. In the package does come with other adapters, so you can mount it to different types of brand trimmers, so I think that's pretty cool. I don't necessarily have a con about this, other than sometimes this is kind of a pain to take off out in the field. It's easier here because how you can hold it, but in the field it's a little trickier. So on a 1 to 5 star rating, I give this guy a 4.5. Definitely one of my favorite ones, and I enjoy using this. So we're going to continue to use this one. Okay, so now we're moved on to the Echo Speed Feed 450. Now, you know, really kind of the only difference here is the fact that it's, you know, a little larger. Now, this does go on the SRM 3020, comes stock with that. The other one comes stock on multiple models. It came on the PAS 2620 when we got the trimmer attachment on that, and it came on the SRM 2620. So, and it'll come on other models too. Okay. So this guy pretty much is the same thing. You know, we're going to take that off so it's out of the way. And you just open this up. It is kind of a little tricky on your fingers. Okay, now just like the other one, this is the same. You have left and right hand turn on here. But what you have to do is you have to take the centerpiece out. If that's, you know, if you're going to have to do something like that. So we'll show you how this works. This piece right here comes out, just like that. And then you switch it to the underside. So we're going to keep it on the left side because that's what we're on right now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put this guy back in here. Now, since it has the hole that goes right through, okay, you don't have to worry about, you know, okay, do I need to line it up on this side or this side, you know, because this is a speed feed. So, and the other cool thing about this is there's no little notches you have to, you know, line up in place. You just drop that in there, and then this top piece goes on. Oh, whoops, opposite side. Here we go. Top piece goes on. Alright, just like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that back piece on because that's what would be on the trimmer anyways. Alright, so we're going to take our little arrows right here, and we're going to line them up with our eyelets right there. So there we go. So it's lined up here. Eyelet, very good. Okay, we're just going to get kind of a straight piece, as straight as we can anyways. And we're going to feed it in there. And hopefully we'll get it going pretty easy. Sometimes it's a little tricky. There we go. It's not too bad. Alright, so we're going to pull that out until this guy gets straight on both ends, even, best we can with doing this sitting down. Now on your trimmer you would walk that out and you know, get as even as you can. Alright, so we're there. Okay, so just like the Speed Feed 400, it's the same thing. You know, you wind it up. This is even smoother. I mean, it's like butter. I mean, look at that. I'm wasting no time, and it's loading up real easy. It's definitely the reason why it's one of my favorites. Okay, so we just wound that up super fast. Now, that was a small amount of line. It can hold 3 to 4 arm lengths, depending on the size line that you use. And but we really enjoy the Speed Feed systems that we have. This one is a bigger, more cumbersome piece than the 400, but rightfully so because it goes on the SRM 3020, which is a very powerful machine. You'll definitely want to watch our other video about that machine coming up. So this is a favorable one, and you know, there's a lot of trimmer heads out there from a lot of different brands, and a lot of them have some pros and cons, and we just wanted to put this video together for you guys and, you know, show you some of the differences of what we experience from these different brands. And there's a lot more out there that we haven't tried that we'd be glad to try and test out, and, you know, and see how they work. But for these right here, we wanted to present this video for you. Hopefully it helps some of you guys out on deciding, you know, which trimmer head to get. Why are you having problems? Which ones you want to get so you have less problems, you know, some longevity time and whatnot. So if you've enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and for sure you would want to subscribe. We have all kinds of videos coming up all the time, so you don't want to miss out on anything. Definitely follow us. We cover reviews on different equipment, power equipment, mowers, trimmers, trimmer heads. We have a new one that we're putting together with trimmer lines. That's going to cover several different brands, the sizes, the type of lines, the residential use, commercial use, how to know which one to use, and what machine to best match it up with what you're going to be using it for. So you'll definitely don't want to miss out on that. We'd love to hear from you. You know, tell us what products you're using, whether it's trimmer heads or anything else of what you may be having problems with, or ones that you enjoy using that's, you know, very useful for you. So I'm Kevin with Texas Better Lawn Service. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me next time.